We have reports from Paris that Diana, Princess of Wales, has been killed in a car accident and that her partner, Dodi Fayed, has also been killed.
You all remember Princess Diana's tragic death in Paris and her funeral, which was seen as the greatest of the 20th century, honoring the Queen of People's hearts. But here's something you might not know. Her coffin was never opened during the entire ceremony. Not once. In October 2025, while the British royal family faces media scandals and the king's health declines, a top-secret document arrives at the palace. This parcel, sent from Paris and sealed with the insignia of Pitié-Salpêtrière, the hospital where Diana died, has caused alarm within royal security. According to sources, the royal police and Interpol have reopened the accident case and discovered new details never made public before. A lead-sealed coffin, no access for anyone but diplomatic officials, and witnesses who must remain silent for life. Was sealing the coffin just a medical rule and a matter of royal respect? Or is there something more that happened to Princess Diana's body during the unknown hours between Paris and London? If the truth comes out, can the British monarchy handle the emotional fallout that could follow? The package arrives, a shadow from the past. In mid-October, cold winds from the North Atlantic shook the old stones of Kensington Palace. London prepared for a long, restless winter as golden leaves blew across the paths. Prince William had just arrived back from a tiring flight from Boston, where he had been promoting the Earthshot Prize. His project focused on helping the planet. Conversations with young innovators reminded him that hope still existed despite past pain. He took off his heavy wool coat, wanting to relax, when his valet Thomas, loyal and in his mid-50s with 2 decades of service, came over. In his hands, Thomas held a small, book-like package sealed with red wax. Under the soft light of a chandelier, he said with concern, "Sir, this arrived while you were away. There's no sender, just a Paris postmark. Security checked it, and there are no threats." William felt a mix of curiosity and worry. Paris was known as the City of Lights, but it was also a reminder of the loss of his mother in 1997. The envelope was made of thick paper with elegant blue writing, "For the son who deserves the truth about his mother." His heart raced. What truth about his mother? He thought about how many years had passed since her memory haunted him. The joy of her smile and her comforting hugs, mixed with the nightmare of the crash and the funeral. He and Harry had never seen her in the coffin. With slightly trembling hands, William broke the red seal in his private study, a peaceful space with tall shelves and a portrait of Diana watching over him. Inside were faded documents, yellowed and stamped from Hôpital Pitié-Salpêtrière in Paris, the hospital where she had been taken that night. He read the pages, feeling his heart pound. Then he saw a chilling line. Deep 4-centimeter stab wound in the right abdomen, inconsistent with vehicle impact. He lost color in his face. Dizziness hit him as the room started to blur. "Impossible," he whispered, his voice shaking. Memories flooded back, finding out about her death at 15, the somber funeral, and the crowds lining the streets. He had asked his father for one last look. Charles had refused. To preserve her peaceful image, he had said. Now, a small envelope slipped out with bold red ink. "Don't trust what's buried with her." William had one burning question. Who sent this? Why now? Late that night, as London slept, lights at Kensington Palace stayed on. The desk lamp cast shadows on William's pale face, his eyes tired from crying and lack of sleep. Alone in the study, the document sprawled before him like a live wire. He read slowly, calming his breath to take in each word. There were copies of a French doctor's report. Dr. Clear's handwriting. Recommend expanded forensic examination. Suspected puncture wound from a sharp object. Below was a note. All procedures halted. Order from Prince Charles, Prince of Wales. William's fists clenched. Memories of 1997 replayed in his mind. He and Harry, young boys walking behind their mother's coffin through the crowds. They had begged their father for closure. Charles had denied them. Now his signature faced him, shaking the family's trust. Why hide this from me? Even in her death? He wondered, his voice filled with betrayal. He thought about his choices, growing up under public scrutiny, smiling despite a broken heart. Diana was a symbol of compassion and a victim of palace politics. Was this information the key to everything? Or just a cruel lie? William's confrontation, facing the king. At the Royal Police Headquarters, Inspector David Kemp, a veteran with 25 years of experience in royal cases, began examining a suspicious package. He was tall, had silver hair, and sharp eyes. He had dealt with everything from annoying letters to serious threats. His initial findings confirmed the package was postmarked from Paris, specifically a Montmartre post office. The paper and stamps matched official samples, but the file code PS2139 was not found in any records. In his small office, despite the no smoking signs, Kemp muttered to himself, "Something's not right. This could be a clever forgery." He decided to launch a full investigation and brought in Interpol and forensic experts. He felt a sense of urgency. This was important and could affect the monarchy. If the package was real, it might shake the throne. If it was fake, someone was taking a significant risk. Meanwhile, William, having had a sleepless night, entered his bedroom. A dim nightlight cast a soft glow on Catherine, who sat up, book forgotten, and looked at him. "Kate, I don't know what to do," he murmured, sitting on the edge of the bed, feeling uncertain. This could change everything. Catherine put her book aside, took his hand, and traced his knuckles with her thumb. "We will get through this together, Will. Just be careful. Don't let the past take over the present." Her steady presence was comforting in the cold night. But William understood that the search for the truth was beginning. As morning light broke through the gray sky, he drove his Range Rover to Clarence's house, knowing he would soon face his father, King Charles III, the man who had always been a strong influence in his life. When he entered the drawing room, the calm atmosphere was disrupted. Charles was reading state papers, and Camilla was pouring tea from antique china. Camilla looked surprised but smiled politely. "William, what a surprise," Charles said warmly, but with caution. William got straight to the point, looking intensely at his father. "Did you ever see Mother's face one last time?" The room became tense. Camilla's teacup trembled slightly as she set it down. "William, why bring this up now, after so many years?" Charles asked. William pressed on, his emotions rising. "I need to know. I received documents from Paris. They said she had wounds on her body that were not from the crash, and you stopped the examination." Camilla spoke softly but firmly. "William, you must understand that some past issues are better left alone. They only bring more pain." William turned to her, anger building. "Whose pain are you talking about? Father's or the woman you replaced?" Camilla's face went pale, frozen in shock. She had survived the fallout of the Charles-Diana saga, and now old wounds were reopening. Charles's breath caught, and his tone became sharper. "I saw her, William. I wish I hadn't been the last to see her. Your mother looked peaceful, but her body had wounds from the accident. Why wouldn't you let us see her? Why hide her from the world? Or were you protecting someone?" William's voice quivered with emotion, and tears filled his eyes. Charles slammed his hand on the table, shattering the teacup. "Enough. Some truths, if revealed, would destroy what's left of this monarchy. I chose silence to protect you and Harry. Don't make me say more." William rushed out, tears streaming down his face. He drove away quickly, his mind racing. Camilla watched out the window, sighing. Sometimes silence is the only way to keep a family together. Charles sat still, memories of Diana flooding back, making him feel fresh pain. This confrontation was only the beginning of a brewing storm. The investigation begins, tracing the sender. 3 days later, Prince William flew to Paris with Inspector Kemp, pretending it was a follow-up for the Earthshot prize. The rain made the streets shine as their black car passed the glowing Eiffel Tower. William looked out, remembering how Paris felt more like a distant memory. This city held the pain of losing his mother. Their first stop was Pitié-Salpêtrière Hospital. An elderly nurse named Monique Desmarais met them in a dim hallway. She had silver hair neatly pinned back. "You look so much like your mother," she said, her voice shaky. "I remember that night clearly. All the ER cameras suddenly went dark for over 20 minutes. Then we got orders from the British Embassy. No talking to anyone, no disclosures." Kemp asked in a professional tone, "Did they give a reason?" Monique sighed, her gaze far away. "They said it was for medical reasons. There was blood in the car, so they wanted to keep it quiet to avoid complications. But it all felt wrong. Everything happened too fast. The princess, she fought to survive, but her wounds were too severe." William listened quietly, feeling tightness in his chest. He could almost picture his mother alone in Paris, fighting for her life. "Thank you," he said softly. Later, they went to Boulanger-Sérane Funeral Home. Claude, an older man with a silver mustache, greeted them. "I remember it well. The princess's coffin was sealed shut with lead metal, unlike any ordinary one. They said it was to stop chemical leaks and keep royal dignity. We just followed orders." William asked, "Did that seem unusual to you?" Claude nodded. "We had never seen anything like it. They claimed it was a special request from the British side. Diplomatic orders. I didn't want to question it, maybe to avoid press attention. William glanced at Kemp and asked quietly, "What do you think they were really protecting? Health or honor?" Kemp replied, "It could be both, sir, but we'll find answers. I just got word. The package was sent from a small office in Montmartre by a woman in her 30s wearing a black hat, using a false name." William nodded, feeling a knot of anxiety. Outside, Paris faded into fog, Notre Dame's bells ringing softly in the distance. He stood among the crowds, feeling close to the truth, yet it remained just out of reach. Uncovering the truth, a misguided obsession. In the quiet of Clarence House, King Charles III sat alone under a dim reading lamp. His face showed the weight of his years as he read Inspector Kemp's report, filled with details that uncovered a painful history. He turned the pages, recalling memories that hit him hard. Paris, 1997, the night everything changed. Charles hurried to the hospital to be with Diana after the crash. At Pitié-Salpêtrière Hospital, she lay in a stark white bed, looking peaceful in death, but her body had suffered, cuts and bruises from the crash. Charles knelt beside her, holding her cold hand, tears streaming down his face. "I'm here to bring you home," he whispered, his voice breaking. "For our boys who don't know their mother won't wake up." This was not just a goodbye, it was a promise to protect her memory. With shaking hands, Charles covered her body with a royal shroud, going beyond his duties as an ex-husband and father, trying to mend broken ties. He wanted the world to remember Diana not as a victim, but as a symbol of kindness and grace. Later, in a tense meeting with British and French officials, he signed the order to bring her home. The Home Office approved it with a note, request to seal coffin for health and safety. The coffin would be sealed to prevent decay for the long journey home. For Charles, it was more than just a standard procedure. It protected Diana's dignity from public scrutiny and turned tragedy into quiet respect. Now in Clarence House, Charles closed the report, taking a deep breath. Catherine entered. Her presence warmed the room. She sat next to him and took his hand. "Your Majesty, William is hurting. He thinks there's a conspiracy, that you hid the truth. Why seal the coffin? Why not let him and Harry say goodbye?" Charles met her gaze, struggling for the right words. "I signed that order but didn't check every detail. Officials told me it was the law to prevent infection during transport, but I also knew it was about dignity. I didn't want William and Harry to see their mother as a victim, bloodied and hurt from the crash. Diana deserved to leave this world like a queen, not as a broken person. I wanted them to remember her as she was, smiling and vibrant, not with lasting scars." Catherine nodded, tears in her eyes. "I understand, Your Majesty. That's a father's love, but William needs to hear this from you. He feels lost." Charles gazed into the distance and spoke slowly. "I lost her once, through a broken marriage and that night in Paris. I didn't want to lose my sons to harsh truths. The sealed coffin didn't hide dark realities but preserved her best image. You left in peace, and I protected that for us." The confession, a misguided soul and the truth revealed. 3 days later, Prince William flew to Paris with Inspector Kemp under the pretense of attending the Earthshot Prize event. The rain made the streets shine as their black car passed the glowing Eiffel Tower. William gazed out the window, remembering that Paris was where his mother disappeared forever. Their first stop was Pitié-Salpêtrière Hospital. An elderly nurse, Monique Desmarais, met them in the dim hallway. Her silver hair was neatly pinned. She looked at William and said, "You look so much like your mother." Her voice shook. "I remember that night as if it were yesterday. All the ER cameras went dark for over 20 minutes. Then we got orders from the British Embassy. No talking, no disclosures." Kemp asked, "Did they give a reason?" Monique sighed and looked away. "They said it was for medical reasons. Blood in the car meant we had to keep quiet. But something felt off. Everything happened too fast. The princess fought to the end, but her wounds were too severe." William stood quietly, feeling tightness in his chest. He imagined his mother alone in the Paris night fighting for her life. "Thank you," he said softly. That afternoon, they went to Boulanger-Serran Funeral Home. Claude, the manager with a silver mustache, greeted them. He said, "I remember it clearly. The princess's coffin was sealed with lead metal, unlike any other coffin. They said it was to prevent chemical leaks and keep royal dignity. We just followed orders." William asked, "Did that seem strange to you?" Claude replied, "We'd never seen anything like it, but they claimed it was a special request from the British side, diplomatic orders. I didn't question it, maybe to avoid press trouble." William looked at Kemp and asked quietly, "What do you think they were really protecting? Health or honor?" Kemp answered calmly, "Possibly both, sir. But we'll find answers. I just learned." The package was sent from a small office in Montmartre by a woman in her 30s wearing a black hat, using a fake name. William felt a knot of dread inside. Outside, Paris faded into fog, with Notre Dame's bells faintly ringing in the distance. He lingered among the crowds, feeling the truth was close, yet just out of reach.